If someone could punch mine in the ovaries, that would be great. The Rising of the Shield Hero returns with a brand new intro, and it looks like Naofumi is going to have a brand new party. Yes, this was an exciting episode of the series, as Naofumi gets his brand new member of his Lolicon crew, and it's none other than Melty herself, the second princess of the Melromark Kingdom. This was an exciting episode for a number of reasons. First, let's talk about that intro, which I think is honestly pretty damn solid. What I love most about it is the fact that the song still has a lot of the high energy of the very first one, but I love all of the introduction of all the new characters that we're going to see in this arc. In particular, this one badass dude who looks like he is going to have a scythe. Could we very well be looking at the Scythe hero? I don't know, I just want to see it. The intro also seems to indicate that it looks like Naofumi is finally going to start working with the other heroes a little bit more. Either that or it was just an excuse to see all of these characters using their signature weapons and fighting against a giant monster. All I know is I really liked it, especially the big final shot of Naofumi with Raphtalia, Philo, and Melty. It was really freaking great. I especially love the fact that we have a male character whose entire team consists of females. It's something different, and I can't really think of too many other teams that actually had a dynamic just like this, and that immediately already makes this a pretty interesting thing. But this episode right here immediately dived into the cliffhanger ending of the last episode, where Melty was about to be killed by one of those soldiers, and then Naofumi decided to save her. Of course, this is all just some sort of plot to make Naofumi and his team look like a bunch of kidnappers and murderers. In fact, they actually record this entire scene of watching Naofumi and his crew beat the crap out of these guys, but not actually kill them in order to protect Melty, and somehow in this magic world, they have some sort of editing material that makes it look like these guys are just freaking monsters. Like, they change their entire expressions, they show the soldiers getting cut up and bloodied and everything, and they just make them look evil. They even manage to make Melty look like she's horrified to actually be with Naofumi and his crew, and they start spreading this stuff all over the various kingdoms like the bad propaganda that it is, which means Naofumi and his team has to act in the shadows, and they constantly have to look out if anyone's going to try and attack them and try to take Melty back. And if they take Melty back, there's a possibility that she's going to be killed by her sister. It's very obvious that she's been plotting all of this, and most of the episode follows Naofumi and his crew as they're sneaking around the mountains and trying to escape any sort of, like, confrontation. The entire thing actually kind of gave me this Lord of the Rings vibe of watching them walk across these various mountains and all these, like, valleys and peaks. It was pretty interesting. And speaking of Hollywood movies, they even managed to add in a little bit of that George Lucas magic. I really liked a lot of the wipe transitions that they used in this episode. It totally felt like I was watching Star Wars. But let's get to the cream in the middle of this Twinkie. This episode is all about the big confrontation that Naofumi has with the three heroes and mine, who've been tracking them down and constantly trying to capture them, and when they finally get them to the edge of a cliff, that's when they decide they're going to try and take Melty back. Of course, Melty makes a big declaration that it was actually a plot to try and kill her, and that Naofumi's been protecting her the entire time, but predictably, nobody wants to believe that, and that's when Mine arrives from the slutty shadow that she exists in and makes the declaration that the shield hero has the ability to brainwash people with his shield, despite the fact that she has no evidence behind this. And the way that she's acting is so cartoonish and villainous that I can't believe that anybody can possibly believe what she's actually saying. Of course, Motoyas is, but that's because Motoyas is a fucking moron. Ren, on the other hand, seems to have some doubts. He can definitely tell that there's something wrong going on here, and Itsuki, well, Itsuki just stood there. Naofumi and his party try to make a quick escape by jumping on Philo's back and having a mad dash, jumping around and trying to get across to the other side of this cliffside, when suddenly Mine decides to go on the attack, which again makes you realize that there is no way that nobody can notice that this bitch is just insane. She is just using her fire magic and firing it all over the place, and what I think is a nice juxtaposition to Mine is the fact that Melty actually uses water magic. We actually get to see her using that in this episode when she tries to fight back and help out Naofumi. And to make matters worse, it looks like Motoyas, being the absolute creep he is, has actually captured Philo, and he puts this lock on her leg, which causes her to not transform into her Philolyle form. And that's because, of course, he's a freaking pervert who's obsessed with Lolicon angels. Let's talk about the scene that I thought was the most satisfying of the episode. That's when Raphtalia went on the attack, using her ability to go invisible and sneak up behind Mine, where she used her brand new magic sword and actually, like, impaled her completely through the chest. It doesn't really end up doing anything, but damn, did it look awesome and really satisfying. I'm guessing this isn't going to be like a typical blade which can actually like cut someone, or maybe it's just the degree to how much power she can actually use with it, and she just wanted to incapacitate her. That being said, it was really satisfying to finally see someone attack mine for once. Naofumi and his team escape, and he even tells Ren that he needs to pay attention to the situation, letting him know that he's the one who can realize what's really going on here. And you can tell that Ren is actually using his noggin when he says this, and Naofumi and his crew decide to make a big escape. That's when we get a nice big character development moment between him and Melty, where he finally accepts her for who she is. He's not calling her the second princess anymore, he's simply going to refer to her by her name. And that goes both ways. She's actually going to refer to him as Naofumi and not just simply the Shield Hero, showing that these characters have officially become much closer at this moment. We also get to see one of those shadow ninja appear, that one girl who loves saying "dare say" all the fucking time, and she's basically there to let Melty and Naofumi know that they're going to be working for the queen of this kingdom. We also get to learn that apparently the queen is the one who calls all of the shots. She's in a much higher form of power, and that's just because of the way things actually work in this world, and the fact that the king himself was actually married into royalty, something that really rocks the jollies of Naofumi. The episode ends ominously with Mine getting ready to burn down the whole fucking forest so that she can find her sister and make the Shield Hero continue to look like a dirtbag. So what's the rundown on this episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero? Another pretty damn good episode, which was mired a little bit by its pacing. Most of the episode followed Naofumi and his crew as they basically just sort of walked around a lot, but honestly, I liked it. It really illustrated the absolute desperation that these characters are in at this point. Before, they had free reign to go into any single village that they want. Now they're constantly having to hide behind rocks and shadows and in the mountains. It shows how desperate the situation has actually become, even more so when the fact that the three heroes in Mine are directly trying to find them, and when that big action scene kicked off at the end of the episode, it was really cool to see. I think that Melty's going to be a really great addition to Naofumi's party, if only for the fact that she does have a unique gimmick, but having a character who's actually like a part of royalty already immediately makes her kind of interesting. I don't know how eventually he's going to be able to prove his innocence on all of this, but I have a feeling it's eventually going to involve him like swaying the other heroes and then working alongside the queen, whenever that's actually going to happen. But I'm really excited to see how all that's going to go down. One thing that this episode made painfully clear is that initially Mine was basically just a nuisance. At this point, she might as well be the main antagonist of the series. She is officially the villain of The Rising of the Shield Hero. It's not the Waves of Destruction, it's the fucking super slutty princess. If it was the creator of the series' intention to make us hate Mine, man, they are doing a great job at it. She's one of the most insufferable characters that I have ever seen. So over the top in her villainy that, like I said, every single time she speaks, I don't know how people are not questioning her true motives. Maybe she's the one who actually has the ability to sort of manipulate people's minds. Also, it's kind of stupid, but I thought it was really cute when Raftalia got really upset over the fact that Melty and Naofumi are now on like speaking terms and saying each other's names, and how it happened so quick for them. Every single time Raftalia gets in a tiff like that, it always manages to be adorable. That being said, I thought this was another solid addition, which is definitely hyping things up for the next half of the season. A brand new intro, a brand new ending, which admittedly I did not watch. I was just ready to move on to the next thing that I was doing for the day. I'm going to pay attention to it a little bit more in the next episode review, but so far I really like the new intro, I like the new direction, I love the new addition to the party. I'm just really enjoying this show quite a bit. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen in the world, but as far as entertainment value goes and how it's sort of messing with the whole isekai genre, I think it's doing a pretty damn good job of that. So I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. I thought the pacing was a little off, but for the most part, a satisfying experience that if you're following the series, you definitely need to check the episode out. If any of you did watch the episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. What do you think of the brand new addition to Naofumi's party, Melty? Do you like her style, her magic? Did you have a favorite scene from this episode? What do you hope to see from the second season? Do you like the brand new intro and ending? Let's get a discussion going about this episode in the comments section below. Thank you all for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down, baby.